of the world, now I'm living. And the good just gets better, keeps on giving. Not even close to the end, it's just beginning. Life is getting lighter while the days are getting brighter, yeah.
Hi, it's Ann Perry. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today is the third in a series of videos that I'm creating for you, which talk about the value of each birthday. So today we're going to be talking about what does it mean to be born on the 3rd, the 12th, the 21st, or the 30th. So I hope that you'll stick with me and you'll gain lots of knowledge about your date of birth. So let's talk firstly about what does the day of birth actually reveal about us. It's one of the 4 core numbers, okay? The first core number being the life path number, the second being your expression number, third being heart's desire, and the fourth being your day of birth. Your day of birth and your life path number are pretty solid pieces of information because they come from your date of birth, which can never change, okay? So the day that you were born on reveals an added gift of potential to your life experience. It's a sub-lesson or an influence to be learned in this lifetime. And it's the number which is behind the life path, which is acting as a little bit of support. And it offers us clues as to what it is we agreed to learn here in the first time. Or in the first place. So in particularly my case, I was born with a life path number of 7, and I was born on the 25th. So when we add 2 and 5 together, it comes to 7. So that means that I've got double the influence of the 7 being the spiritual teacher. So it would be very difficult for me not to be that. And trust me, I have tried to not be that for a long time before I actually stepped into it, into my authentic self. But the 7 energy for the day of birth supports the fact that my life path number is a 7. So likewise, if somebody is a life path number 3 and they were born on the 12th, then that's double creativity, isn't it? Because the 3 is all about creativity and creative expression. All right, so what are the positive characteristics of the number 3? Now remember that there are positive sides and negative sides to each number. So the positive side of being in the energy of the number 3 is someone who's very joyful, can really easily express themselves. They're very inspiring communicators. They typically have a really good sense of humor. They're creative thinkers. They really think outside of the box. So let's take a look now at the negative characteristics of the number 3. So if you're acting on the negative side of the energy of the 3 for your day of birth, you could be somebody who's feeling very depressed, someone who disappoints very easily, you let down very easily, you kind of go, oh, well, you know, I kind of figured that, and you kind of become akin to Eeyore, okay? So somebody who's very overly sensitive, very self-critical, complains and criticizes because they're not feeling their self-worth. They tend to pick on everybody else. And they're often somebody who's very filled with self-doubt. So it's important that we look at each of the 3 energies independently. So we just looked at the 3 energy. Now let's look at somebody who was born on the 12th or on the 21st, okay? Because you know what I'm like. I have to break everything down to make it really, really evident for you as to what's going on in your chart. So the positive 12th day or 21st day. So first of all, we have to look at the energy of the 1 there. So what does that 1 tell us when it's operating in the positive? The 1 tells us that this is somebody who can be very independent, very creative, very ambitious, inspiring, feels very secure in themselves. The 2 energy, what does that mean? It doesn't really matter what order they come in, 1, 2 for 12th or 2, 1 for the 21st. But the 2 energy is all about being a very cooperative person, very balanced, very much a team player, someone who's quite supportive, very caring, very sensitive to other people's needs, and sensitive to their own needs, with a real positive need to be of service to other people. So they can be of service to other people, but they can also be of service to themselves, and that's where the balance comes in. They're not overly giving. They're giving in a very balanced way. However, there is a negative side to the 12th or the 21st. The 1, if you're falling to the negative side of the 1 energy, that's somebody who could be very dominant and arrogant, someone who could be very codependent, lazy, insecure, inhibited, or possibly even a little bit standoffish and aloof. The 2 relates to hang-ups related to feeling that they have to do the right thing. They always have to do what everybody else expects of them, so to speak. It also refers to codependency. This is about being an overgiver and then becoming really angry about the fact that you've been the overgiver. Maybe you turn into a bit of a martyr and somebody who could be quite worrisome. All right, so let's take a look at the 30th. Now, the 30th is a very different number than the 12th or the 21st, because now we're looking at the 3 energy and the 0 energy. So the positive aspects of the 3 energy is someone who's very joyful. It's all about self-expression. They can express themselves easily. They're very inspiring the way that they communicate. They can really excite a crowd with their information that they're delivering. They're very creative thinkers, great sense of humor. Okay, they're very social. The 0, the positive side of the 0, is a positive connection to their inner gifts and their relationship to spirit. They know that there's a guiding force much bigger than themselves supporting them, and they have a good connection, and they have good trust and faith in that connection. So the negative side of the 30th, the 3 feels very depressed often, disappoints easily, overly sensitive, self-critical, have a lot of self-doubt, complains a lot. And the 0 relates to resisting their natural spiritual gifts and their connections to spirit. So they end up feeling very alone, very isolated and very alone, because they don't believe that there is a higher power that is supporting us. So you can see that the 12th, the 21st, and the 30th, very different people, aren't they? Okay. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'd love to keep in touch. So the best way to do that is check out my website at AnnPerryNumerologist.com. I just put up there a sign up for my newsletter. If you sign up for the newsletter, there's a free video there that you cannot get on YouTube. And it says it's all about 3 things that your date of birth can reveal about you. So it's really interesting. So you might want to hop on over there and sign up for that. I've also got my Facebook page, very active on that, posting every single day. So if you'd like to learn more about numerology, that's where you're going to find me. Okay, guys, I'm hoping that you're having a great day. If there's anything else I can do for you, if you'd like to book a reading, check me out at AnnPerryNumerologist.com. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.